Hi, it's Derpymoose99 with episode 14 of Banished with Megamod 9. Now, I've been having a little bit of trouble with my voice recently. I don't know if I had a sore throat or what. I'm going to record here until I start to get harsh or a hoarse voice. So, anyway, let's have a look here. We're at 2,041 citizens, and our food graph is actually improving, which is pretty cool. Let's look at the 25-year trend. Yeah, we had a big dip there. Okay, but I'm happy with the way it's going right now. Let's have a look at our inventory. By quantity, 95,000 flowers. 23,000 feathers, that's cool. Aloe's way up there. Duck meat, rice, feed. Alrighty. I have a fair amount of salted fish, that's cool. How much fish do we actually have? Okay, we have 5,700 fish. We could actually do some more salting and some more smoking if we wanted to. And that would be down here. But since our build queue is at a 969, which I think is a new record, I'll stop building stuff for the moment. So let's just have a look around. So we've got 3 blacksmiths here that are being built. Those are going to be our spare tools, but I'm going to use them for muskets in the short term and trade the muskets. And that'll also give some guns for our duck hunters too. All right, and then up here, can't see it yet, but in here there's going to be a market and some houses in here. And we'll do additional farming over here. Some additional housing here because the mines, if we look at the halving, these miners are living all over the place, so we'll have to fix that. Okay, let's see what else we've got. Okay, we've got our Henrys here waiting for our mines. And over here, we have 3 tin mines building. Actually, I think we might throw the priority there. Let's include the houses as well. This is going to allow us to can the duck meat and also oysters as well too, I think. We've got 1 copper mine come up, and turns out I can make copper directly with furnace fuel. So we've built this foundry over here with the theory of making copper from copper ore. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that on iron. And right now our traders are bringing lots of iron, so we're good there. But we have lots of iron ore too, so why not just have those sort of supplement what the traders are doing. Down here on this lake, I'm trying to bring it all together with some dock sections. Because we have tons of feathers and tons of reeds right now, I'm going to make some more survival coats. We're making quite a few over here, I believe. Nope, that's the rope. Yeah, in here we're making survival coats, but we can up the coat quantity and put some more workshops in. Okay, let's go up above our pasture area here. If I can remember which hotkey it is. It is... Oh, I changed the hotkeys around here and I still haven't gotten used to it yet. So we're building some more housing in here, some more farms, and some more pastures. And once all this housing's built, I think we'll add some more candle makers here because we've got all that tallow. These guys are working full time. All right, I can already hear my voice being a little harsh, so I think what I'm going to do is go on pause, let this run for a while, come back and do some updates. Maybe to save my voice, just try not to talk too much and do updates and let it run that way. I'm feeling guilty about not doing an episode for a while here, so I think that's what we'll do. I'll go on pause and we'll see you in a bit. Okay, I've let it run forward a little bit, so let's have a look around. Looks like over here we've got, looks like a school. Let's get that going. And we've got a general store. I think we'll go probably just 3 people for now. And we have a plantation up. Now I built some additional plantations over here. Well, 2 of them I built, and 1 is in the process of being built. And I realized I derped again. I built these for white mulberry, Yeah, keep forgetting that. So what I have to do is get rid of that plantation and put in an orchard. And that should give us white mulberry. Yeah, there we go. Now, one of the plantations I did keep, we were short on herbs, so put one of the plantations on herb production. Hopefully that'll help. So when this plantation here builds, we're going to nuke that and put an orchard in. Now down here, it looks like our tin mines have built. So we've got 3 mines producing tin and 2 mines producing copper. You know, I don't have a specific need for the copper right now, but I did notice going through the build menus, there was buildings that you needed copper to produce. So we'll build those and then have a look around. There's a whole bunch of houses that haven't built yet. But the build queue is down to 946. 950 now. I was going to try and get it over 1,000, but I think that would be excessive even for me. Our stable is built here. Now we built that because some of these greenhouses are complaining about being out of fertilizer. So that gives us 5 stables now. Okay, where are we at for population? 2,072. So I think I'm going to go back on pause here and let things develop a bit. So we'll see you in a bit. Welcome back. It looks like we have a infestation. So we're going to use our backup pasture here. Put that on sheep. And we'll empty this guy out. Okay, why didn't that? Because I did pigs, that's why it didn't work. Well, that's a pretty good derp. Okay, what else has happened here? So let's look at our lake here. Okay, so this tinnery is now set to oyster, and this one is set to duck. I think we have a lot of duck, so I've decided we're going to put a few more of these in. 3 in there, and there's some storage nearby, so that'll work out. Flatten this out here. Now I think that hospital might be a little bit too close, so let's add another one here. Maybe something like that. Yeah, I won't delete that yet. Our houses are slowly building. So one of the reasons for the slow build on the houses, other than the huge build queue, is the fact that we ran out of stone for a while. So I've upped the limit on the traders to purchase stone. I've been manually purchasing some as well. And we're low on, getting low on logs again. So I'm going to add an industry supplier here to support the traders down here. We're putting in a market and a school and some housing. I noticed I've been building down the coast here with traders, but not really houses. Bunch of houses going there, bunch of houses going there. And we have this whole peninsula down here we can expand to as well. Still haven't seen any of our mulberry groves build yet. Which one's the furthest along here? Let's prioritize that because I'm quite keen to see how these work. Do they work all year round? Are they seasonal like farms? Or are they seasonal like the orchards? And how much they produce, all that kind of stuff. So let's prioritize that again. And I think what I'll do is I'll go back on pause. Okay, we've advanced a little bit. I noticed that even after building the last stable, giving us a total of 5 here making fertilizer. That our greenhouses are still complaining. I've built a little village down here to kind of support all of this, but I think we need to put some more fertilizer production in there. If I can ever remember what tab that's under. Stable. Can only get one in there. Yeah, might have to get a bit kludgy and put one over here. No room there either. Alright, well, we'll have to figure that out. Definitely need another one of those. Now, one of our mulberry groves is built here, and I gotta say, looks pretty cool. Takes 2 workers. So I'm gonna leave this open over here. So we're in late autumn right now. So I want to see if this produces in the winter months, like if it produces year round or not. Okay, our last plantation built and I changed it over to an orchard and white mulberry. And other than that, I'm still manually buying stone here just to make sure we get as much as we can. And stuff is building, but build queue is still at 877. So I think we'll go back on pause here and we'll see in a bit. So that answers one question there. Our white mulberry grove has produced 20, and that's in the winter, so it is a year-round thing. Interesting. Put a few more of those in if we need them. Those 2 orchards we put in will probably take a while, like 2 years before they produce. Looks like these produce right away. So I might find a place to jam a few of those in. Let's just do a status check. We are 2,163 citizens. Food graph is still looking good. And we are short 150 houses. Now there's probably close to 80 in the build queue. It'll be interesting to see where we sit when the build queue catches up, if it ever does. I've been resisting the urge to add to it, so yeah, we sure need those white mulberries. Oh yeah, here's a derp I did too. We're taking over the lake in a Borg-like fashion. I have a bunch of houses down south and a school here. And I put up here more houses, but I didn't put any schools. And I don't really have much room to jam one in. I'm putting 3 tiny schools at, various locations around the northeast corner of the lake here. So I imagine there's some probably pretty old students in some of these houses. So that was a bit of a derp there. And, oh yeah, built these rice wine stills and they're making wine out of the rice. But I think with the wine, you need a place to actually drink it. So I'm putting in a small tavern here. And I think there's about 500 or 600 wine in stock. So we'll see if that gets used up. And down here, we're about to link up all of our dock sections here. And I've put in 8 workshops here that'll be for survival codes when they come up. I feel my voice getting a bit harsh again, so let's go back on pause and see how far we get. Hi, welcome back. It's now early spring, so we've gone forward almost a year. Gotta tell you, this game is a lot more zen and relaxing than the previous one. To the point where I'm almost falling asleep here. I'm just building stuff and we've got enough food and it's kind of depressing, really. So let's do a tour around. One of the things I did want to look at, if we go up to our, gotta hit the right hotkey, boy. This thing here, our white mulberry grove, it's now had a full year of production and it produced 420 with 2 people. So if I look here, this is one of our original mulberry orchards, and that's 638 with 2 people. This one is 639 with 2 people. 560. So interesting. So pros and cons, I guess. Not as much as an orchard for the 2 people, but smaller and produces right away. You don't have to wait the 2 years for the trees to grow. Interesting. And they look pretty cool. So I think I will find another spot to jam a few of those in. Okay, while we're over here, I did notice we needed another stable for our fertilizer. And our fodder, we still had 7 or 8,000 fodder, but it's been going down quite a bit. So I'm not sure how the whole fodder production chain works here. Because basically I've just been harvesting it right now as we build stuff and clear land. So I'm going to put a fodder farmer in over here, a couple of houses. Fodder is a miscellaneous item, so I put 2 miscellaneous barns in here. There's a little stockpile, a couple, like I say, a couple of houses. And down over here, we've got a tiny market, which doesn't quite reach up there, and a school here. So have to see how that works. But this is more or less just to see how this all works. I think we're going to need a greenhouse for seedlings, I think. But I'm just going to let that build and find out. So down here, we still haven't built our workshops. Things are linking up. And over here, yeah, we have some of our, 2 of our meat tanneries are up. So let's get those working on duck. Okay, so those are now working on duck. I'll pin that one there. Let's just have a look at how much. Let's actually go through our whole stats for an update here. So we're 2,367 people. Our food graph still looks pretty good. Like I say, it's boring right now, although this could change. Our inventory, let's go by quantity here. Duck meat, we have almost 36,000 duck meat. So we'll have to see how those canning the duck, if it knocks that down or if we need to build more canning artilleries. Tallow is still way up there. Flowers have breached over 100,000. Goat meat's at 10,000. Cool. Rice is reasonable, so we're not getting taken over by rice. And oysters, we have 5,200, so they are being canned. I might put another canner in for that. Mulberry leaves are back up to over 2,000. Yeah. We have 135 domesticated animals, so we can do something with those if we want to. We got Kubasa. Okay, well, things are looking pretty reasonable. So I'm actually been thinking to myself, what I might do is just kind of let this run to the 3,000, come back for a few updates, and then call that a series. I think what I want to do at the end of it is talk about lessons learned. But if you do watch these videos and you watch to this point, I thank you. And I'd really like people to start thinking about, what do we want to do next? This was sort of a lessons learned, second chance, kind of prove it that we can get to 3,000 without killing people through starvation. But I think I'd like to try something a little different. So this map, just to recall, it's virgin plains, very large and mild climate. And starting conditions were hard. I like leaning towards the Jack and Jill start, so I'd like to do that. But I think suggestions for map type, now I'm personally leaning towards mountains and try something a little bit more challenging. And have to think about what goal we would have, whether it would be population or, not building farms or trade ports or something like that. So anyways, if you are watching, please think about that. And I welcome any and all suggestions. And I'm just going to go back on pause again. Thanks. Hi, we haven't gone forward very far. We're still at about 2,400 people. But quick comment, I just noticed this. The kimonos that we were making out of the silk are worth 60 trade value, which is a champion rope is worth 35. The other coats are worth 15. Perfume 8. But the kimonos are worth 60. So all that rigmarole to get the silk and the white mulberries and all that, super worth it for trade goods. So I've made sure there's 100 kimonos in every one of these ports. Interesting. Anyways, we'll see you again. All right, we've gone forward quite a bit in time here. It's now autumn of year 56. And we have a plague and a fire. Up until now, I gotta tell you, it's been pretty quiet. I'll have to introduce a little more chaos into the next series if we do one. Seems kind of weird, but I'm actually missing the nomads right now. And I probably don't have a super close well, do I? Close enough. Well, knock on wood, we keep getting lucky there. So we're at our 2,611. And our food graph is still looking really good. Tools are good, although not as good as I'd like them to be, so I'm building more blacksmiths. Logs are recovering, stone's good, iron's good. Coats are 6,000 coats, that ought to do. Furnace fuel's hanging in there. Lumber we got lots of. And we're setting up this new trader dock down here. So building supplies, homeware, log and stone, and you can go away. Okay, and I'm building, because I'm a little bit worried about the fuel situation, I'm building some dax burners here to make charcoal. Build them down by the docks here. All right, what else have I done? The fodder farmer has built over here. This is our little test area. And it's 3 workers, and unfortunately it's in the construction category. So I had to up that, which means we'll probably get a ton more firewood built, or lumber built, but so be it. And I noticed I didn't clean out the area here, so let's get rid of the rocks and iron. You know, I bet you we want to get rid of the trees too. Why don't we do that? And let's just throw a little stockpile up top here. Okay, our glass makers ran out of sand, so I put another sand pit in. Yeah, 3 sand pits, or 2 sand pits for 3 glass makers should be lots. Over here, our little town center is building. We've got 6 houses. I'm starting to put orchards and farms in here. Okay, we got some more blacksmiths building. Our tool limit's actually set on 2,000 or even 3,000, and we're not going down super slow, but we are going down. Let's see here. Rock melon, oats, corn, grapes. Okay, yeah, we're building 4 more blacksmiths here. These 3 country smiths have built, and I've got them set on muskets right now. So if things get desperate, I'll convert those over to tools. And let's see here. All right, extra one. So if this doesn't help our fuel situation, also over here on the lake, we built a bunch of the workshops we were working on. And I put half of them on survival coats, which I originally intended because we have all kinds of feathers. And half of them on fire bundles just for fuel. And our fuel limit right now is set at 12,000. We're only at 7,800. And we're early winter, so I want to bulk up our fuel a bit here. Okay, up over here, I built some more of these white mulberry grows. And we have plenty of white mulberry right now. Some of the houses came up here. I put a bunch of 10 by 10 pastures here. Now this was just on the theme of getting all the different trade animals, but I don't really want to put them in 20 by 20s. Although we do have trade bison and trade llama right now there. And we bought leghorn chickens. So if we go back to our town center, I haven't been super diligent about this, but I was trying to maybe get all of the trade items here. We got about another 2 dozen to get, so I'm buying stuff as I remember basically, and as the farmer trader shows up. Yeah, what else did we do? It's getting a little bit laggy right now at 2,500, so I'm just more or less letting it run and dealing with issues. I wanted to get to the 3,000, but for me this has been a pretty zen and relaxing series, unlike the previous ones. Probably not too exciting to view though, but if you need to relax, this is a great game. Just make sure you turn off disasters and you have plenty of food. And as much as I've heard the music, I still like it. It's very relaxing. Okay, that's 7 stacked burners. Room for more there if we need them. Okay, this fodder farmer's producing flowers. I guess that's just harvesting them out. Stone log pelt fur. So I guess that's just in the progress of cleaning everything out here. We built a couple country houses, and there's miscellaneous barns. Okay. And I think there's a market. Yeah, there's a market and a school down here. Let's pump that up to 3. Okay, and I'm building a couple more tin ore mines. We've got quite a few canners going right now. We're canning duck meat like crazy. Should probably have a look at that. Where are we at? Go to inventory by name. Duck meat is at 47,000. And tin. Tin is at 717. So we actually have excess tin, and we're building 2 more tin mines. So I think I'm going to find a spot to put some more tinneries in production. Those little hunting blinds seem to be doing a pretty awesome job. Okay, bunch of traders going. I think this is the most industry traders I've ever had. We've got, what, 7 of them going. There's 3 food supplier traders as well too, but they've been turned off. So we're just riding on the farms and the orchards and the greenhouses and all the pastures and everything. So I'm liking the way that's looking. So we're 2,650. Okay, so I'm going to go back and pause for a little while, run it forward, and I'll be back if there's anything exciting. Okay, we're back after a bit of a pause there, and I just wanted to point this out. I have 200 builders and the build queue is only 55, and I have 921 homes and 856 families, so I've overbuilt slightly on homes, which is fine. And we're going to put a bunch of the builders back into labor population here. So I don't think in this whole series, other than at the very beginning, we ever had more builders in the build queue, and we had that many extra houses. And we're at 1,753 people, and our food graph is still going up. And fuel is still bouncing around. And tools are still not making me super happy, but they're fine for the moment. Does look like I'm going to have to put another furnace fuel maker in. Anyways, I just thought I'd share that. That's the best build queue we've had in a long time. Okay, let's get this back up here. Okay, back on pause, and we'll see you in a bit. Okay, quick status update. Absolutely nothing has happened. We're 2,721 people. Food is still looking great. Tools are starting to bounce back. We now have almost 16,000 fuel, so I'm happy with that. In general, things are looking pretty good here, so I'm just going to go back on pause. Well, we're on final countdown here. We're at 2,998 citizens. And we just hit 3,001. There we go. Let's have a state of the nation here. We have 189 build queue and 200 builders. Yeah. And we have 377 laborers. Food graph here, still rising because we're still building farms in certain places. And if we go through our inventory, 113,000 flowers. It's pretty awesome. Duck meat is moved up to second place. Feathers in third. A lot of fish, a lot of sausage. Tallow. 16,000 leather. 10,000 crayfish. Cool. Have a Louisiana bakeout or something. Anything jump out at us there? I don't know. To me, that last little while here, getting to 3,000 was pretty quiet, uneventful. There was a brief plague of one person. They went to the hospital, were cured. What's really cool, I think, is I did not starve anybody to death. And that, compared to the last series where I don't know how many hundred people I killed, but this one was pretty clean. Let's do a bit of a base tour and then talk a little bit about lessons learned. So this is where we started here. This was our original force node. And we built down out here to the city square, which is where all our trading docks are. Most of our blacksmiths, most of our tailors, and a whole ton of greenhouses. And we built down here to another forest node. Next we built out onto this lake here. And my objective was to borg out on the lake. So you can still see some water. There's some blue spots here and there, but I think in general we did a pretty good job of assimilating that lake. Not so much on this one down here, although we started. And then our next expansion, I might have that slightly out of order, but our next expansion was up to our forest home up here, where we built 2 more forest nodes, and a bunch of houses, and a pretty major perfume setup. Again, over here, we wanted a combination farming community, and we wanted to try the new mod out for the pastures. Then we built out to the left here, another farming community. We put some plantations in for flax, grew some white mulberry for silk. Up here, it's our fodder experiment, 144. That had a couple of years to operate, so just cleaned out all the flowers and all the trees and stuff, so I'm assuming it's going to plant a lot more fodder. But good to know if you do run out of fodder, you're going to have to build quite a few of those. Okay, we started up on this lake here, but didn't get too far on that. Our white mulberry grows we built. And down here was a tin mine, copper. This was a backup mine just in case we needed it. And down here, our fishing experiment. Basically 4 fishing docks. That one's 2,900, 2,800. That one's only 21. It's 2,000. So basically these were configured in different ways. So some of them had the houses and the storage inside the circle, and some had a combination from there. So I've been checking these over the years, and they're more or less equal. I think the ones that have been closer to the market and closer, to the bulk of the housing up here have been a little bit better. But I don't honestly think those configurations make much of a difference. Good to know for the future. Yeah, there's a little bit of a pathing issue there too. Over here we did smoking and salting of fish. And we have a couple of these pretty cool dense tree shacks here. And these were salt work. Okay, and then we expanded way up here. So there's some more pastures here, a lot more farms, some more of our mulberry groves, and a whole bunch of butchers. And a whole bunch of candle makers too. These butchers produce a ton of tallow, so we're turning it into candles. Okay, and then we built out to this area over here. Now that was for our coal mines and additional food production. There's some blacksmiths in here. Oh yeah, I had some copper mines over there to the left. Couldn't really figure out what to do with them. So there's 2 of these blacksmiths that are actually making copper tools to use up that copper. Hey, we built over here to a little general store and school. And up here, which is linked through the tunnel here. And we're going to put more orchards and farms in there. And then there was a bridge across from the horse node up there, kind of linking it all together. It's actually surprising how many people are using that. So that was quite a few hours of work, but I'm actually quite proud of this. This is one of my better towns so far, I think. The whole not killing people from starvation, I think, was a pretty major breakthrough for me. So what did we do different this time? I think we went really hard on a couple of concepts. We said in the first series, I had houses located too far away from where people were working. I really tried this time to build a lot of houses near the place of work. So you can see there's a ton of houses here, but there's also a ton of industry and a ton of greenhouses. And there's a lot of homes on the lake here and around the lake. Up here we built quite a bit for the perfume. Tons of houses here. And this is the other thing we did here too, is we stretched out from the central core. We built small spots where we got like a small tiny school or a small school and a small market just to support the more remote homes. And I think that worked pretty good. This pasture mod, just pull it up for a second here, busy pastures. I think that worked pretty cool. Some of the production, some of these pastures is pretty amazing. And diverse too, so there's tons of things that you can do stuff with, like fertilizer for the greenhouses. Beef you can send to the butchers, and milk can turn into all kinds of stuff in the dairies down here. Like these are making cheese, cream, and butter. And then from there you can go into these bakeries and make different things. one of the focuses, I guess, was the preserving, right? So by smoking, by salting, and, you know, we've got canneries doing canning, and all those butchers, we're actually multiplying our food production. I forget the percentage, but I think it's 30% roughly. That seems to be well worth doing. We did build a ton of farms. And the major learning for me on the farms is no matter what size you try, we had 15 by 15s with 2 people, 11 by 11s with 1. It doesn't really, I should back up a bit. It doesn't really matter in the beginning of the game when you get houses close to the farms. So farmers, I think, can pick up in the early game, especially if you're short laborers. But the bigger your town gets and the more pathing issues you have, you got to turn off this farmer pickup and let the laborers pick up the food. And what seemed to happen is the farmers would pick the food, store it in baskets, and even if it took the laborers quite a while to reach the basket, it wouldn't spoil in the baskets. And if the farmers were picking up the food and they were slow, it would spoil in the field. So I think that was a fundamental difference there. The other thing that kind of hit me square between the eyes, I messed around, hadn't done silk for a while. Turns out you can only make kimonos in this version of the mod. But those kimonos trade for 60 each, which was our most expensive item. Yeah, 60, right? So if we look at fancy furniture, it was 30, furniture was 22, rope 35, you know, the coats are, all the other coats are around 15, so that was the two big ones for me is you produce a ton of flowers, so go crazy on the perfume, but also do silk as early as you can, just because of the value there. Although it is a bit of a convoluted production chain because you have to produce white mulberries somehow, either through these groves or through orchards. Then you got to put them through these guys, the silkworm huts. Use the mulberry leaves as food, make that into cocoons. Then a weaver takes the cocoon and makes it into silk. And then we got the tailoring company takes that silk and makes it into kimonos. But 60 per unit, that's a pretty good deal. Okay, so final wrap up, we got tons of logs, tons of stone, too much probably. 3,000 iron. Our fuel is bouncing around depending on, we're in late winter now, so that'll be a low point of 7,700. But, you know, it hits the limit up to 15,000. Lots of herbs, lots of coats, 17,000 perfume. Probably went a little crazy on some of these things. Big thing to address here is we're low on industrial fuel. But as you can see, we're on 10 speed and we're getting single digit frame rates. And if I go to 5, bounces anywhere from, say, 10 to 20. You could still play this. It's a little bit sluggish, or a lot sluggish actually, but I think this is the practical end to my hardware here. I did upgrade to a AMD 5000 X3D and really am kind of impressed with its performance, especially on these old single-threaded games. But anyways, I don't think I have much more to say, and my voice is starting to go again, so I think we'll end it there. This is the end of Series 2 and the end of episode 14 of Banished with Megamod 9. And I'm Derpy Moose 99. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you super especially if you watched right to the end. I appreciate that.